Good morning, everybody. Uneducated economist here. So it looks like the very first central bank has decided to move into e-currency, Tunisia. Tunisia has become the first country to start moving its national currency to a blockchain platform. The Central Bank of Tunisia announced that the digitization of Tunisian dinar has started, and that the paper-backed CBDC, the central bank digital currency, will be issued on the Universa blockchain. Founder and CEO of Universa, Alexander Borodich, had this to say: digital banknotes cannot be counterfeited. Each banknote is protected by cryptography like its paper counterpart and has its own digital watermark. Furthermore, the production of such a banknote is 100 times cheaper than wasting ink, paper, and electricity in the printing process. I would go to argue that it's probably 100 times more than that, to make cryptocurrency. Anyway, Borodich expected digital currency to change how private banknotes operate. Here we go. All the physical money will stay at the central bank, while commercial banks will only provide services and compete over the quality of services offered. Did you guys get that part? All the physical money will stay at the central bank. No more physical money. See, what they don't say anything in there, and obviously this is not the argument. They're trying to announce what is going to be a positive thing. So they're not going to tell you about the bad things. Even this one here, why central banks are moving to a digital currency. Now, I know from the IMF report from 6-7 months ago that the central banks will need to go into an e-currency in order to move into a negative interest rate. Because if you have negative interest rates and cash in the system, people will pull all their money out of the deposits and into cash. But if no cash is in the system, they'll be forced to keep their money. Well, they won't have any other choice. It'll be e-currency. It'll be deposited somewhere at some institution, and those institutions will charge a negative interest rate. They don't say that anywhere in these two articles, but they do argue in this one on why the central banks. This one came from Crypto Peer View. And this one, why central banks are rushing to create the digital currency. Now, they are arguing that systems like WeChat and Alipay and stuff like that are taking over the digital payment system, and that they're not actually banks, and that they just have a promise to pay in central bank currency. And they're saying that this could be a risk, and that if one of these people happen to fail, then who's responsible for paying all the money out? Goes on to say like this: much of the central banks who jumped early to the adopting digital innovation, including Sweden, Uruguay, China, etc., have considered developing a platform that allows maintaining transaction register with rightful owner of the digital currency. This means the central bank will have closer oversight over money flows using digital currency than the current currency, I guess is what they're trying to say. The distribution of digital currency is managed through a two-layer approach. In this approach, third-party payment service providers held an equivalent value of traditional currency in the central bank account, collect digital currency, and then distribute it to the general public. So this is the excuses that they're using. They're saying that it's going to be for security reasons. They're going to say it's going to be for efficiency reasons. They're going to come up with all these different reasons, and it's going to sound really good. But the real reason is because they need to move into a cashless society so that they can start to institute negative interest rates. At least that's my opinion from what I read from the IMF 7 months ago. That's where I get that opinion from. And I'll leave links to these articles down in the description, and I'll try and find that IMF article as well. It wasn't an article. I think it was a speech. Anyway, uneducated economist. I got to go to work. Talk to you later.